Hello and welcome to this microfocus ZENworks Service Desk video. I'm Paul Pedron, the Product Manager for ZSD. We are very excited to be here and review the latest features and enhancements available in the release of ZENworks Service Desk version 8.3. We have a little bit to talk about, so let's get started. There are different areas of the upgrade. We've upgraded the technologies, made some modernization changes, and added features that many of you requested. And we'll cover a few miscellaneous details about the latest release as well. As far as technologies and back-end details, we've upgraded Angular, we've moved to Bootstrap framework, installed the latest versions of Tomcat and Java, and now support MySQL version 8, along with upgrading the internal Postgres database to version 13. Now let's review the design and features implemented in ZSD version 8.3. In the User Administration Portal, we've modernized the knowledge base system for a more consistent design across the platform. We've added in an advanced item search which will help pinpoint items needed for the tickets quickly. Filtering on Ldap user source to save Ldap sync time. Dynamic forms are very popular, and we've added support using dynamic forms for the store items. The new delegate role is available now to allow a delegate assigned to a customer that may be away or on leave so that their tickets are attended to. We've brought back the grouping of tickets in the request lists as well. In the customer portal, your customers can now enjoy some personalization by moving around their home page dashlets. They also can put in comments and ratings in the knowledge documents. And we'll mention many other enhancements and fixes, including customer requests and backlog defects. Let's start with the knowledge base, where we did most of the modernization in this version. We'll start with creating a knowledge base document. We've given this area a consistent modern look and feel that you've been experiencing in the Customer Portal and Technician Request Portal. After selecting Knowledge, you can view the filter list of knowledge base articles, creating a new one from the floating icon in the lower right-hand corner. Once the editor is open, there are two parts. The Kba criteria, which specifies the type of document. It may be an article, FAQ, or solution. And then other criteria like visibility, status of the article, and you could select the item category, classification, or type, even the item that may relate to this document. Then there's the body of the article itself. Depending on the document type, determines the body input. For instance, the solution, the body would have problem solution. If it's an FAQ, the body would have question answer. Or it could be an article, which the body would have a title, summary, and content, all of which may have attachments. Once you've completed the article, there is a Done button at the bottom. When selected, a message will appear that it has been created successfully. Also at the bottom of every document in the knowledge base is a URL that the document can be referenced in an email chat to direct the person to this article. Now that we've created a Kba document, let's check out the Kba lists. There are many familiar components to the knowledge list screen that you're used to in the Technician and Customer Portal. Searching the columns, sorting the columns, column reordering for your convenience, and resizing the columns. These settings are now saved in the database, so next time you log in, it will display the same. Now the Kba List Filters. There is a basic global search over all Kbas in the upper right, with the ability to include filter results, which we will discuss now. So the Kba Filter List consists of different categories and types of documents. All documents, article, FAQs, and solutions. There is a document calculation of how many of that type document is in the view for that category depending on the filter. Each category has its own set of default and saved filters. The current filter is identified with a green asterisk. The filter tool is compressed on the left. When the Kba Filters tool is exposed, there are options to narrow down your search for the proper Kba. Search for different filters like article number, article type, owner, status visibility, ratings, or item and date. You can combine multiple filters. Then you can narrow down the search further by checking the My Content box. Once you select Apply, it will invoke your filters, and you can then save if you want to name it and use it again. Selecting Save Filter will display a prompt for the name to be saved as new. These will be saved to the filter list for that document category where you can view all the default and saved filters. Once saved to the filter list, the filter can then be selected and shared to a role or with a team. If sharing to a role, you can select supervisors, technician, or manager. If sharing to a team, you can share the filter to the specified team in the system for their use. The filter can also be deleted from your list as well. Let's examine the Kba List customization tool. 2 to 15 columns can be selected to display in the respective Kba list. There is an option to reset to default on this customization page. These are saved to the database and will present upon next login. As mentioned earlier, you can sort the position of the columns for personalization as well. Now the actions for the Kba list. Depending on your selection in the Kba list, those actions will be available, like being able to group, ungroup, delete, and change document status, like archive in development, pending publication, and publish. You will be prompted for confirmation of these actions as well. In this example, confirming the change of article status. Kbas can be exported and imported in bulk. Selecting the category of Kba list you wish to export, this would be all, article, FAQ, or solution. Then select the export icon, which will prompt you for the data columns you wish to export to a file. Once the Export Data button is selected, the data can be saved as a .xls file locally. Reviewing the import of Kbas in bulk. By selecting the bulk import icon, you can download a .csv template to help you format the information to upload. 5 custom fields are available for use for additional information fields. As noted, there are mandatory fields that are required to complete the document import from the .csv template. Also, the fields like item types, status, visibility, item category, and classification must have valid data that exists in the database. Once filled out and uploaded, a field mapping dialog will prompt you for additional input mapping. Selecting Import will then attempt to import the documents and report with the prompt on success. Import only once. If changes are made to the import record list and used to re-import, duplicates may appear. For errors, this example, putting in an owner name that doesn't exist in the database, that document record will fail to import. Or if there isn't an item category pre-existing in the database and specified in the import file, that document record will fail to import as well. Let's look how Kba details vary between the different Kba document types. As shown when creating the Kba, this is the new view for the Kba documents with categories on the left and the body on the right. Again, depending on the document type, the body will change. Document types cannot be changed once initially saved. Let's check out the Kba Detail Actions that can be performed. In the redesign, we have the different actions that can be performed depending on the owner and document. Selecting the Edit icon can modify the document. Other actions are delete, export, and comments, if enabled, can be performed. Though type cannot be modified after it is initially saved, the visibility, status, item categories, and item types can be modified. The visibility settings can be set accordingly to the technician, customer, and everyone for views of this document. Let's see how to enable the knowledge base article comments. In the Setup or Administration console, you can go to the Setup Privileges and the System tab to see the Kba comment options. Owners can always see comments in their created documents. When enabled for customers, they will see the comments icon in the Kba documents when viewed from the customer portal. When enabled for the technician, they will see the comment icon in the Kba documents when viewed from the technician portal. Here's a view of the Kba document in the technician portal, which displays the comment icon for use, since the privilege for comments is enabled for the technician portal. This view of a Kba document in the customer portal enables the customer to comment using the comment icon, since the privileges for the comment is enabled for the customer portal. Here's the comments view displaying an initial comment with a reply to that comment and a second comment on this article. Comment messages will be displayed for being added successfully. This view has the flags that are displayed only to the owners or creators of the document for managing the comments. Marking them irrelevant will remove the comments from being displayed to the technicians and customers. The final Kba information is the related Kbas and related Kbas to requests in history. When Kbas are grouped, they will display those similar or grouped Kbas for easy access to related Kbas. When Kbas are related to the requests, these requests would display under different categories, like applied on requests, reported requests, and RFC requests. You can also include closed requests in that category. This will allow you to select the link to those requests. The audit trail for the Kba is found in the history where you can display and or print the history, selecting the history PDF icon. Next is the advanced item search. There are two areas where this advanced item search is presented. One is in the request detail page. This page is the previous view, which had item number, and you needed to know what characters the item number has in it to search. This made it cumbersome to find the item number for the ticket. The new advanced item search icon allows for more intuitive view of the items for selection. Selecting the advanced item search will present the default list of items. Then you can filter down by adding the item category or item type and other filters or column sorting to display the matching items. This example displays the selected category service and the item type Service Desk to filter the items displaying 8 matching items with this criteria. Checking the boxes next to the item name and selecting the Select Item button will add or replace the item in the request. The other area where you see the Advanced Item Search icon is in the Knowledge Base page. On the filter side of the document, you can use the same Advanced Item Search icon to select items related to the Kba. Depending on the article, the item category is pre-selected and the item type searches can be used to filter the items for display. If there is a search attribute value for the item category, It can be filtered on those fields in that item category as well. All fields in that category can be reached by scrolling right and left. Once the items have been found, checking the box next to the item names will display in the selected items area. Notice the pagination options for the list of articles by how many articles to show each page and scrolling to other pages. Selecting the Select Item button will add these items as related to the document. These are the differences between using the Advanced Item Search on the Request Detail page and the Knowledge Base page. On the Request Detail page, the item category is selectable, and only one item can be selected at a time. It'll also show assigned item filters present. On the Knowledge Base page, the item category is pre-selected because of the type of article that was created. One or more items can be selected at a time, and Show Assigned Item Filter is not there. Next is the Ldap Additional Filter query for the user source. The common use for gathering users from the Ldap user source is to configure the user node, typically CN equals users, at which all users and groups in that organizational unit will be searched for matching the Ldap groups and users. In addition, we have added the Ldap Additional Query filter, where an additional query, when invoked, will add those attributes to the Ldap query, speeding up the Ldap import. Use the test button to verify success. To find the attributes, open up the user's object in the user's node and look at the attributes. In this example, we're using Active Directory. In this case, Active Directory, go to the Attributes tab and find the individual attributes to use for this Ldap search query. In this case, we selected the mail and department attributes and want any email that ends with epm.com and department is biology or chemical to be searched for in the Ldap user sync using the groups in the ZSD Ldap Advanced tab. Here are other examples of queries against the user source using the additional filter Ldap query to refine the Ldap sync. There are a couple of areas that the dynamic form for the store can be configured. First, in the dynamic form itself, specifying that it can be used in the store. Then the store template, and in the store item, and there are additional fields like override. We'll cover those. In the dynamic form itself, you can now specify linking with the store items by checking the store box. These will then be available in the list by going to the store template and linking to a dynamic form for anything using that template. However, it can be overridden in the store item itself by checking the override box and selecting the replacement dynamic form specific to that item. Next is the Delegate option, which is a new role in version 8.3. It will allow another individual to manage a customer's ticket via proxy. You can assign delegates to customers and/or organizational units. These delegates get promoted as a pseudo technician so that they can manage those customers' tickets. We'll look at the customer portal and technician portal on how the delegate responsibilities flow. An alert will occur on the delegate's customer portal indicating they have been added an assignment as a delegate. Opening the technician portal in the customer setup, go to the user to be the delegate and select the customer that the delegate will be managing. By going to the technician user, there is a delegate tab under the user information where you can assign them as a delegate to a customer or organizational unit directly. This will reflect in the other mentioned screens as well. You can also directly assign a delegate to an organizational unit. This delegate will have ticket management for all users or customers in that organizational unit. Adding a new technician and setting them as a delegate, you can also remove the delegate role and delete the technician from the page. You may ask why the org unit. An example may be a department key person or personnel that screens department IT calls before and while tickets are being worked on. This delegate can manage all those calls to ensure they are being processed accordingly. Going to version 8.2x, the functionality of linking requests via request list page into a group was lost. We've added that back in so that from the request list page, you can group requests together. You can link requests from the request list page by selecting which requests you want to group and then select the group icon, after which the system will ask you for confirmation. After accepting the confirmation, the request list will refresh. Updating the request list with a group number, whereby selecting that group link will take you to the group for those linked requests. On the customer portal, there are options to personalize the home page. There are default positions for the dashlets, and if the customer wishes to rearrange the dashlets, they can drag and drop the dashlets in a particular order. Once they hit the save icon, these will be saved to the database, and every time they log in, the dashlets will be in their configured order. The Save button only appears if there's a dashlet modification. If the customer wishes to reset the dashlets to their default position, selecting the Reset icon and Save will place them in their original position. We've been able to fix many customer and backlog requests, including the updates to modules and database, etc. These are some of the enhancement and customer requests we've added or fixed in this release. We'll cover some of the highlights now. This one is a cosmetic change that makes more sense for the setting. We've changed the Show Notify field to Enable CC for requests and enables the carbon copy when creating a ticket as displayed here. We've updated the Tiny MCE to enable the default browser spell checker so that spelling can be corrected on the fly. Being able to assign a ticket back to the system user can be configured in the team where queue should be turned on, and you'll see the system user in the technician list if the request is on the first layer of the team. You can also reassign a ticket to another team or another team technician even if you are not part of that team. Another minor cosmetic adjustment where attachments now have the uploaded date and timestamp. The urgency field can be updated and reflected in the request if the configuration for request priority is derived, and that can be found in the Setup Privileges Request tab. Also, each of the audit components have been improved with higher accuracy for anyone that modifies the request or any actions against the request. When notes are added, the audit trail identifies the notes, and they can be reviewed from the audit trail by selecting the note icon. There are paginations to assist in scrolling through the audit trail at the bottom. The audit trail can be reviewed and printed by selecting the PDF icon in the upper right corner. Here are some additional details about the debug logs, upgrade reminders, and references. As far as upgrade reminders, this version, the internal PostgreSQL database, is migrated to version 13.x. Be sure to back up the appliance and database, especially if it is external, before starting this process. Refer to the documentation about upgrade sequences. Run the prereq file on the older system to prepare the system for the migration. Since this is a side-by-side upgrade, the second disk must be copied and mounted to the new version 8.3 appliance before powering up. Refer to the ZSD version 8.3 upgrade cookbook for other details. And other ZSD customizations can be found in the customization cookbook for ZENworks Service Desk. Thank you for being with us as we discussed the upgrade enhancements and features in ZENworks Service Desk version 8.3.